What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie298 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And I'm really late to the party on this one because I did a bunch of soul searching as to whether or not I was going to risk my livelihood and risk my channel by talking about this.
Yeah.
I'll explain that at the end of the video, but I decided that this was worth signal boosting, so let's talk about it. Now, here's the channel I'm talking about. It belongs to the Act Man, and it's a fairly successful channel.
What I want to point out, by the way, is the Act Man's subscriber count has went up like, what, 150K since this? So that's pretty badass. So hell yeah.
With 1.5 million subscribers, and more importantly, just about everything he uploads, even though it's not that often, a couple times a month, 1.4 million views, 1.6 million views, 2 million views. That's a lot of ad revenue on these nice, long review videos that he does. And unfortunately, YouTube chose to demonetize his channel. Over a couple of tweets is what it really comes down to. Though.
Yeah, okay, so we got to talk about this, by the way. Here's the issue. Some people are claiming that YouTube did not demonetize the Act Man for tweets, even though YouTube said it in a tweet. So I don't really know what's going on with that. I was talking to Rich about it earlier. Drake B.
We'll get into that. But something I want to remind you of here, right now. It's so important that you do stuff like support people's Patreons, buy their merchandise, deal with their sponsors, because YouTube can pull the rug out from underneath any of us. All of us at any moment, at any second. They can demonetize you. They can delete your channel. If you like a creator, you should absolutely choose to support them if you can afford to do so. But all of this starts with someone who's turning out to be the arch villain of YouTube right now.
I love how his face just pops up.
Quantum TV. Originally, this guy had a very small YouTube channel dedicated to mostly reviewing televisions and giving you the right settings for those televisions.
You want to know why? You want to know why Quantum TV is not going to stop? It's because he actually is getting an increase in subs right now. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? He's actually getting an increase in subs. He doesn't get subs, so he's going to go hard, bro.
Which is, I mean, you know, a niche I didn't know existed because my TVs are on factory settings, but apparently some people really, really want to get the best picture. Unfortunately, he decided to step out of his lane and instead review Elden Ring. And to say that his Elden Ring review was bad is pretty tone deaf. It was a very bad review. I'd love to show you some footage from it here, but the guy goes copyright crazy, which is what started this whole controversy to begin with. Now, a lot of YouTubers dogpiled on that review and kind of made fun of it, which is everyone's right. They showed parts of the review they disagreed with, they discussed it, and Quantum TV, instead of being like an adult and just shrugging it off and taking the criticism, decided that he had to respond to pretty much every single video.
Which he does. He's been in my live stream chat. He actually commented on this video and then immediately deleted it, by the way. He immediately deleted it. We're actually going to go look at that in a minute, guys. So after this, we're going to actually go look at his deleted comment because Boogie took a screenshot.
One of the ways he responded was by abusing copyright here on YouTube. And I'm not going to try to teach you copyright law here. The Wikipedia page does a pretty good job of that. But the long story short, somebody reviewing his review, showing limited amounts of the clips and talking about what they liked and what they didn't like about his review is absolutely fair use.
Yes.
Quantum TV, for whatever reason, didn't see it that way, and this created a Streisand effect. Most people just ignored his review. A handful of people mocked it. Now he reacts poorly to that, so now everybody is hearing about his bad review, so more people are dunking on him, which makes him react more. He just can't handle the criticism, and it becomes just a complete mess. I wanted to join the dog pile originally and talk about his review and then talk about his response to the reviews of his reviews, but who am I to judge how somebody takes criticism? At least I've never had a video taken down. At least I've never abused copyright to get it done. Yeah, so at least...
And he's right. Boogie's done some crazy shit, and he's not ever been one to like handle criticism really well. I mean, everybody handles it differently, man. Like, and especially when it goes on for years. But he's never copyright struck anybody because it's generally agreed. It is generally agreed that you do not do that. You just don't.
It's that, right? Like, I'm a step up above this guy. And if you want more details about Quantum TV and this entire exploit, go see copyright abuse on YouTube featuring Quantum TV by the Act Man. And to get off on a small tangent here, this is just something that YouTube has been allowing for years, something I've directly talked to YouTube about. Harassment is rampant on this platform. There are entire channels dedicated to harassing certain creators, taking them out of context, supplying commentary, just doing terrible, awful stuff.
And YouTube lets those channels be around forever. They do not
Boogie
give a shit.
At the PlayStation convention
They do not care.
And is miles better than QTV.
Dude, like there could be a hate YouTube channel out there that will come to your house and break into your house and videotape you while you sleep and then put it on YouTube, and YouTube will be like, we don't see anything wrong with that. YouTube doesn't give a shit. For some weird reason, their harassment, there's nothing with harassment. They don't care.
Doxing happens, threats happen. It's happened to me, it's happened to other creators I know, it's happened to creators I've never met. It is just common and rampant here. And even though it's against terms of services, those terms of services are never enforced for some reason. And it's mind-boggling to me that Quantum TV could do this so visibly with so many receipts and get away with it. But get away with it, he certainly did. I know for a fact that Actman and several other people went to their YouTube reps, showed them this receipt, asked them to act.
They never should have gotten the job of Big C Club. So here's why I think that comment doesn't make sense, because I know you probably think it's the first time like anybody has said this, but I get that comment like 200 times a day where somebody's like, why did you get involved? So this is why people get involved, okay? You can't ignore it forever. I tried, okay? So back when my harasser dude was going ham as shitballs, I ignored it for like 8 months while he sent things to my house, sent food to my house, contacted my family. I ignored it, guys. You guys all know. People that have been here for a long time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I ignored it, right? He would send bots and Discord people into my chat every single stream. He would go, when he went ham as hell. And then you know what that does? People think, well, if you just ignore it, it'll go away. It's not how that works. It makes them try harder. So what happens in that situation? I ignored it for 8 months, and then I started getting swatted. That's the difference. If you ignore it forever, you could get killed because they're going to go harder and harder each time until you acknowledge it. That is why it needs to stop before it ever starts. That's why when you contact YouTube, like I did before I ever got swatted, I contacted YouTube all the time. I contacted them like 10 times, dude. I was calling people, emailing people, showing them evidence. Look, this channel, here's the URL, here's the email, here's this, here's all these things they did to me. Here's this evidence, what can I do? They are trying to get me killed. And YouTube is like, call the police, I guess. And I'm like, I fucking did that. What do I do now? It doesn't stop anything. You can't ignore it forever, okay? Because if you do, they're going to end up getting you killed. And then what's the random faceless commenter going to say then? Oh, I guess he should have maybe just not YouTubed anymore. What's your excuse then? What is your comment going to be when that person's gone? When you die because you ignored it? What's your comment on that channel going to be then? Well, maybe he shouldn't have, maybe he should have acknowledged it sooner. That's probably what you'll say, right? You can't have it both ways. The police don't do shit. YouTube doesn't do shit. You have to take it into your own hands, and that's exactly what he did. Know what I'm saying? That's how that works. You can't ignore it. If it's directed at you, you can't always ignore it. Because eventually, it's going to get your ass killed. Luckily, I live in a place that no-knock warrants are illegal. Thank God. Even people that hate him will not strike his videos because it's not something you do. It is just not something you do. You don't do that. It is an agreed upon thing by creators. You don't strike people's videos. That's why people won't strike him, because you just don't do that. They won't stoop to that level.
And so far, YouTube has done nothing about what Quantum TV has chosen to do, using his channel, using his platform, using his social media, even using his community tab. He admits to sharing private information on his community tab. I don't know how that's okay. And if you'd like to see all of those receipts and see all of that proof, I would love to recommend to you a video called The Dark Age of YouTube by the Act Man.
No, Drake.
Quite unfortunately, you can't see that because YouTube choose to remove it for sexual content and nudity when there was none of that in the video other than a stupid pickle joke. In fact, here's the offending pickle in question, and if that's sexual in nature, I don't know, I eat pickles all the time. It wasn't too long after that he ended up getting his entire channel demonetized. And when he raised a stink about it online, YouTube creators decided to respond. Team YouTube said, as discussed, your YPP suspension follows your now deleted threatening to dox the families of YouTube employees and creators.
So people are claiming that the Act Man's not being truthful about why he got banned. YouTube already released a statement, so I don't really understand what the problem is here.
The pickle.
Rip Boogie's channel after adding the pickle. Dude, ain't nobody gonna give a damn about that.
Obviously, how hypocritical is it to not care when a content creator who makes you thousands, millions of dollars, it gets harassed and you turn a blind eye to it, but now someone's just threatening sarcastically to do that to people that work at YouTube, and now you're taking action? That comes across as extremely hypocritical.
It does.
And
yes.
I take great offense to it. I know YouTube content creators who get paid from YouTube are just contract workers, but we're still workers. We still work for the company. I think you should protect content creators the same way you protect the people that walk into the office every day. And don't get me wrong, I want you to protect the people that work at that office. I've met hundreds of people that work at YouTube. Everyone has been incredibly kind people. My YouTube partner rep, who's just a good friend.
The issue is, this is the issue. The reason YouTube does not care about the creators, the reason they do not care is because in the last couple of years, they started a trusted media like bracket. You guys ever wonder why if you type in any certain thing, only certain channels will pop up when you type it in? That is because some organizations actually pay several millions of dollars to be recommended first and only. Thank you, Drake, and thank you so much, Jiggly Wiggly. So let's look at these deleted tweets or comments. So when Boogie released his video, Quantum TV commented this 1 minute after the video went live. You know what I'm saying? 1 minute after the video went live, he actually put this in his comment section, which means he did not watch Boogie's video, correct? Because Boogie's assessment is not, I feel like it's fair because, I mean, honestly, let's be honest, if you're being fair, you're not going to side with Quantum TV. It's just not possible, right? And then he deleted it because he was getting freaking drugged. You know what I'm saying? He's getting drugged through the comment section. So this is the comment. It says, YouTube says you're wrong. So keep in mind, he commented this before ever watching the video. He said, YouTube says you're wrong. So Quantum TV's entire defense, his entire defense is YouTube sided with me, therefore everybody's wrong. Okay? YouTube, I don't think they sided with him. I just think they did not side with him. You know what I'm saying? So he says, I guess you like joining the long list of large creators trying to take down a channel with 68 subs. I have no idea what this has to do with anything. Because you suck and no one wants to subscribe to your content after you reach a certain point you're at, now they're the bad guy. I saw somebody talking about punching down was wrong. What do you mean punching down? There's been serial killers before that were homeless, unemployed. If we don't like serial killers, if they're not successful, are we not allowed to shame them for killing people? Like, that doesn't really make any sense.